Well, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you all here today. I'm joined by our dear friend who we've been with a lot recently, Chris Lawson, who is a leader at the Federal Highway Administration. They have been great friends of ours. Chris is the district administrator for FHWA. We were together just last Friday as we dedicated the new stretch of Adams Morgan here in the city, and is with us again today as they've supported this project. I want to thank all the people who are out today to be a part of this. This is the fulfillment, at least the substantial partial fulfillment of a long-held dream, and that is to get traffic out of our neighborhoods. And I suspect that there are lots of people who are very happy that we have reached this stage. As one who happens to live in one of those neighborhoods where people constantly are moving through there to get from one place to the other, I can certainly relate to that. There are days when I come up the Southeast-Southwest Freeway to get up on Sousa Bridge, and I have taken the time to look at the long line of traffic and look at the tags on that traffic. And I would say most days, no less than 90% of them are people with tags that are out of state, and particularly Maryland tags. So this is an effort to try to resolve that so that our neighborhoods continue to be for the people who live in those neighborhoods. So thank you all for coming out today. We also have a group of young people with us. They are 8th and 9th graders who are part of Girls Incorporated, and they are in a STEM program. For those who don't know what STEM is, it's a science, technology, engineering, and math program, and they will be learning how to be able to prevent these kind of problems in the future, and where they may continue to exist, to be able to resolve them. So how about a big hand for our young people? You know, this bridge project has been one of the most ambitious and important in our city. There will be tens of millions of dollars invested in this project by the time it's completed. Last winter, we opened 2 of the ramps, and now this begins to not just deal with the connection of ramps, but getting us across the river in a way that will keep people out of the neighborhoods, as I mentioned before. This is the largest construction project that we've ever undertaken through our Department of Transportation here in the District of Columbia, and it's the first river bridge replacement frankly, in the history of the city. And anybody who has driven for the last 40 or 50 years, you know full well exactly what I mean. If you're trying to go downtown under the previous system, directly from Southbound 295, forget it. There's absolutely been no way to be able to do that. And if you've been trying to go north on 295 directly from the 11th Street Bridge, forget that also, because you couldn't do it. But today, that changes, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new way for people to traverse this area of the region, to be able to stay essentially out of our neighborhoods and get where you want to get to, and leave them for the people who live in our neighborhoods. This ramp is one of the 2 long-standing missing connections in this whole network of transportation options, conveyances. Again, I've talked about the connection of the 295 to the 11th Street bridges, and now folks no longer will have to detour through our neighborhoods in order to get to where they want to get to. So as a result, it will reduce traffic in the neighborhoods and will get people across the Anacostia River much more quickly than they have been able to do heretofore. I want to recognize the people who will be who really will be better served as a result of this. First of all, our families that will be able to accompany their children safely now across some of these bridges. And also, more importantly than that, in our neighborhoods where families are walking and hopefully increasingly will not be subjected to all this traffic in the future. Obviously, our kids who are walking to and from school, playing outside and whatnot, cyclists, and we expect to increase our bicycling program here in the city. We now have 55 miles of bike lanes here in the city. We are going to 80 miles. It will become increasingly a preferred source of transportation here in the city, at least we hope so anyway. And those drivers, those people who get very frustrated sitting in those long lines, we hope that this will have a great psychological impact on them, and they will reduce their frustration as they will be able to get to where they're going much more quickly. This is in part, part of this is a 30-year, part of a 30-year effort. And ultimately, when all of this is done over all of these years, it will be a $10 billion investment in improving transportation outcomes for the city. You know, there was a time when the District of Columbia was essentially perceived as a pass-through. You know, we've got tunnels, we've got other conveyances that reflect there was an effort to try to get people from Maryland to Virginia or Virginia to Maryland more quickly by using the District of Columbia as a pass-through. Well, that day is over. And this is an example of us trying to change that, and we will continue to do so. I'd like to call upon now Chris Lawson, who is again, the district administrator for the Federal Highway Administration for the District of Columbia, our region, if you will, again, who has been a great friend, along with the administrator of the Federal Highway Administration, Victor Mendez. So please join me in welcoming Chris Lawson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Gray, for the introduction. I am very happy to be here this morning representing the Federal Highway Administration and the United States Department of Transportation. Both Federal Highway Administrator Victor Mendez and the Secretary, Ray LaHood, have each visited this project on numerous occasions. And so they realize how important that this project is to the motorists of Washington, D.C., the community, and as well as to all of the staff here at the District Department of Transportation, the consultants, and the team that's helping to make this project a success. I want to acknowledge Mayor Vincent Gray for his obvious support for infrastructure projects in the district. This is our third ribbon cutting in 1 week. And so we've been spending a lot of time together. And I told him last week that I keep telling my mother, I know the mayor. I know the mayor of Washington, D.C., and she doesn't believe me. So I thank him for his support. I also want to thank Director Terry Bellamy, as well as Chief Engineer Nicholson. We have a valuable partnership, and we are working together to improve transportation here in the district. This project is very important to the residents of Anacostia, the daily commuters, and the entire metropolitan region. The new southbound DC 295 ramp to the 11th Street M. Brown Freeway Bridge will significantly improve morning and evening rush hour traffic, as well as motorist and pedestrian safety on both the interstate and the local roads. Director Bellamy and his DDOT team are to be commended for solving this transportation dilemma by adding this movement, as well as the soon-to-be open B2 ramp, which will connect I-395 to northbound I-295. Everyone should be aware that the progress on this 11th Street Bridge, the entire project, is well ahead of schedule and on budget. To date, this $300 million investment is a signature project for the district. I really want to acknowledge several who have been involved with this project's success, but most especially the team of Skanska Ficina for your design build ingenuity, H&TB for your thorough management. And, you know, I know that there are several subcontractors and employees and unsung heroes who have contributed to this project's success. But let me thank all of you for your contributions. Again, it's a pleasure for me to join my colleagues and partners and thank you for your collective leadership and your hard work and to celebrate this important milestone and accomplishment for the community. Lastly, let me thank the residents and the leaders from the community for your perseverance and your patience while this project is being undertaken. When the project is fully completed, the benefits to the community and the motoring public will be lasting. And so let me thank you for your time and attention, and I'm going to turn the podium back over to Mayor Vincent Gray. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris, and please convey to all of those at the Federal Highway Administration our appreciation for you all being such a great friend and a great partner with us. And by the way, for those who may be wondering, Along the way, we've been able to use stimulus dollars for some of these projects as well. It's a great example of how stimulus dollars have been put to work in a very constructive way, and frankly put a lot of people to work as they were intended to do by the president in the first place. I think, frankly, if you just go through the District of Columbia and look at the number of projects in which stimulus dollars have been invested, you will find what great use they have been put to for such an important project like this and so many others across the city. Please join me now in welcoming our director of the D.C. Department of Transportation, and in so doing, I want to recognize our chief engineer, also Nick Nicholson, who really plays an instrumental role in so many of these projects. I know Terry is going to talk about him as well, but please join me in saying thanks to our chief engineer, Nick Nicholson. I think Terry Bellamy does an absolutely fantastic job. And I know he's going to talk to you about grade.dc.gov. I've been with him now at least 3 times in the last 6 days, where he's talked about, expressing what you think about the work that's being done at DDOT, which is absolutely phenomenal. And this is yet another example of that. Terry has done great work at DDOT. He's taken on the responsibilities with resolve. We will open our first streetcar line in 2013, the 2.2-mile line along 8th Street, and it will then begin a multi-year process of establishing a 37-mile system here in the District of Columbia. So again, please join me in welcoming a gentleman who's doing a fantastic job as our director of DDOT, Terry Bellamy.
Good morning. And first of all, I want to thank the mayor for his kind words, and thank you all for joining us on this historical occasion. What a great way to continue to celebrate DDOT's 10th anniversary as a department. As the mayor mentioned, opening this ramp is a major milestone, not only for the bridge project, but also for all that stand to benefit from it. Our neighborhoods, which will be more sustainable and safer for pedestrians because of the decreased traffic. Our local streets, which will include less traffic as commuters shift to traveling the new ramp. Our waterfront, which will benefit from resulting in increased opportunity for redevelopment and economic development on both sides of the Anacostia River. And then finally, the commuters, who will be able to save as much as 10 minutes in their daily time by using the ramp. Later this fall, we will further increase these benefits by opening a second long-missing ramp connecting the outbound 11th Street Freeway Bridge to northbound DC 295. Providing this missing freeway connection via these ramps will result in benefits is a cornerstone to the 11th Street Bridge project. It is also the fundamental reason why the 11th Street Bridge project was the first major bridge project and roadway project undertaken as part of DDOT's larger Anacostia Waterfront Initiative, or what we call AWI. This and the rest of our AWI transportation projects are all interconnected in pieces of larger puzzles in creating a world-class waterfront in the District of Columbia. None of these projects are easy. One of the things that as we go out into the community, these are major projects. If they could have been done many years ago, they would have been done. And so to our chief engineer, Nick Nicholson, and Ravi, his AWI project engineer, these are some mammoth projects that the team are working on. Our esteemed mayor, we have to thank him for his leadership and support for our efforts in completing this project. When AWI was started, the mayor at that time was a council member and was a strong advocate of these projects. And as we come out here month after month with key opening, this lets you know his vision and his partnering with the Federal Highway Administration to make this project a success. DDOT Chief Engineer Nick Nicholson and our Deputy Chief Engineer Muhammad Khalid, our Project Manager Ravi, our project engineer, Joe Dorsey, and all of the DDOT employees working on their behalf every day to make this project a success. Our staff assistants that we get from HNTV that help us manage this mammoth project, we want to thank them. Our prime contractor of Skanska Fachina and all of the various subcontractors that are building this project, we want to thank you. For our local ANC commissioner that's put up with us, and I got to say, he's been nice to me. We got to say thank you. Members of the 11th Street Bridge Project Community Communication Team, thank you. And as well as our local business community, Mr. Bond, thank you. One of the things that I'll be remiss if I did not say is that when you walked in here today, you saw all this DDOT equipment. Our DDOT team is here. Our street bridge management team, they're here, they brought our equipment out. One thing that I have to say that is very important is that DDOT is not the same DDOT of 5 years ago. We used to go home about 7 o'clock at night. That's how we worked. Now DDOT is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. We have men and women working every day, all night, to provide transportation services to the District of Columbia. And with that, as the mayor pointed out, we have gradeDC.gov. And one of the reasons that we do gradeDC.gov is to get more information about how we can do our jobs better. And what we'll ask you and we'll pass out is to get more and more information, because this is just the beginning of a lot more major projects that DDOT will be responsible for. And so when you see it, gradeDC.gov, we need to have your feedback. Before I step down, one of the key persons to the success of our program is Nicholson. And Nick is with me almost all the time. I feel sorry for his wife. I know she say I call all the time, 7 days a week. He has no life. But I would like for Nick just to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Mayor, ANC council members, and everybody out here. I did not plan on speaking, but I will take this opportunity to again thank those who are out here every day working in the sun, working adjacent to traffic that's moving faster than it should, to those who actually out here doing the work, the hard work, to making sure that we do stay on time, on budget. Brookshire with Skanska Fachina has been a partner. We solve problems not just for the good of the project, but also the good of the community. Ravi Ganvir and Terry talked about him, has been instrumental and tireless in making sure that things that need to happen are happening on a timely basis, which is why this major project is 6 months ahead of schedule. We look forward to the opening of that outbound bridge. You'll see it over there pointing, waiting for its day in about 3 months, when we will put traffic, and we'll begin to take traffic from the Southeast Southwest Freeway, which is I-395. Y'all say this with me. I-695. I-695 to I-295. Thank you for your time.
I'm waiting for us to try to have to figure all this stuff out. We got I-95, we got 395, we got 295, we got 695, we got all the 95s now. But you know what? At the end of the day, people are going to be so happy about this new transportation system that has been put in place to be able to move people through the region. I want to underscore what Terry said also. Grade.dc.gov. It's a new system that we've put in place to be able to measure performance from the perspective of the customers. And it doesn't mean that you only have to let us know when something bad happens, all right? Let us know when something good happens too. There's a propensity, I think, among people to say, well, the government should hear from us when something doesn't go right. And of course, there's always something you can say. But you know what? If you want to really continue to improve, the performance of public servants, let them know when something goes well also. That's just human behavior, human psychology. Some of the agencies hear what they hear all the time is something that didn't go right, and it makes people cynical and not necessarily the best public servants that they could be. So this is an occasion where you can, everybody get one of these cards? You're going to get one before you go, I promise you. To go on the website and be able to let folks know how you feel, especially about this project, because I know there are a lot of people who are here today who feel very strongly about this project, two of whom, frankly, are two of our community leaders. I'm going to ask them to come up and speak now. The gentleman who is responsible for Congress Heights Main Street and does so much work over east of the river, especially Mr. James Bunn, and then one of our commissioners, who's now actually a member of our taxi cab commission in the District of Columbia, Commissioner Anthony Muhammad. So they'll speak in that order, Mr. Bunn and then Commissioner Muhammad.
Good evening, Ward 8. Oh, you can do better than that. Good evening, Ward 8. Thank you. Well, good morning. I'm so excited I'm confused. But first of all, let me thank our mayor, and make no mistake about it. We have one of the best mayors that we have had in this city in a long time. And I want you all to tell your neighbors about that. You know, when the people talk about the negative things, talk about the positive things, because when you look around here, this is not Anacostia now, this is Ward 8, and this is for the benefit of the whole ward. I represent Congress Heights. Congress Heights, I oversee quite a few businesses. But most of all, I'm the chair of the Ward 8 Transportation Task Force that oversees the West Campus and the East Campus. Some of my Homeland Security people are here, and these are the issues that we deal with every day. So, again, I want you all to understand that a new day is here now. This is a new Ward 8. We are moving. The mayor went from the first day that he came in office until today, he told the residents of Ward 7 and 8, your day is here. And I just gotta thank you, Mr. Mayor, because our day is here. And let me just say one thing else about DDOT. DDOT has the best director that we have ever had in this city. I've been here in Ward 8 for 42 years. So don't nobody tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do. I'm one of the person that shows up everywhere. I probably would go for you, some of you all home if your wife wouldn't kick us out, but you know I can't do that. But make no mistake about it, Mr. Bellamy, he returns calls, he responds to the residents' command, and that's the charge that the mayor has given him. And Mr. Mayor, he is doing a wonderful job, and we appreciate him. And make no mistake about it, he has a very good staff, because when they start building all this stuff, I couldn't get it in my head how it was going to look. But we had a young man right here that definitely knew how it would look. And he would come out and tell us. And so now we are seeing it, and believe me, the traffic is a lot easier. So I'm not going to keep talking because somebody else got to talk. But I could talk all day, because when you're in Ward 8, I can talk to you all day about Ward 8. Make no mistake about it. And so welcome to Ward 8. Any issues you have, any complaints you have, call the ANC and call my office, and we'll deal with them for you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Gray. We thank DDOT, Mr. Terry Bellamy, for his hard work. But most of all, we thank the men that's in the vests, in the hard hats, the ones that were out here at 100-degree weather fixing and paving the street day and night, rain, hail, and sometimes snow. We thank those people who actually did the physical work and sometimes are the less thanked. So we want to thank you first. Also, we want to thank the single-member district commissioner of this single-member district, which is Greta Fuller. So, Ms. Fuller, please come up. I'm sure you're going to have something that you would like to say. This is Ward 8, and this goes to the middle of the river. Ward 8 is in the middle of the river. Ward 8 goes to the middle of the river. We don't want you to forget that this is Ward 8 that goes to the middle of the river, 1 DC. 1 DC. We want to make it one because we have a new highway where you don't have to make any more U-turns, no more illegal turns, no more going the wrong way going to downtown Washington, D.C. You don't have to run and escape no more, but you don't have to come through our neighborhood, and we will be happy about that. We'll be even more happy when we get some no illegal commercial bus signs on Good Hope Road. So the commercial buses will not come down our street. I'm sure they'll take this highway now. So, Ms. Fuller, I'm sure you have something to say.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. I would like to thank the people on the 11th Street Bridge Committee, of which I am a part. It bridges Ward 8 and Ward 6 and many other neighborhoods throughout the city. I'd like to thank Mr. Bellamy and Peter for their support when we have issues on both sides of the bridge, from the Navy Yard to the historic Anacostia. They've always listened and went back and worked with us to make those changes so that the community members can be more comfortable in their daily commute. Thank you.
All right, we're going to ask you all to join us back here so that we can actually now cut the ribbon and begin use in an official way of this new leg of the continued work to create neighborhoods that are real neighborhoods and traffic that doesn't have to go through our neighborhood. So come on and join us. One. All right.